Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I got a couple of little last-minute tweaking things I gotta do, but I can't do them until I actually get going. Hello and welcome to what is a brand new project for me. Hello, my name, if you're new, is Psycho Max, and welcome to the start of my brand new Warframe Let's Play, start of a new long-term project in the works. Hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun and rake in a lot of new viewers. So let me switch over to my camera real quick. This is one of the things I gotta fix. Oh no! That's that's the wrong screen. That wasn't supposed to show up. Let's see. Is that the camera I want? No. There's always something wrong. What happened to my webcam? Am I on the wrong? Okay, well, let me talk about it while I'm sitting here fiddling with things. So, this project that I'm working on is Warframe related, as I'm sure people have figured out already. And as the title suggests, this is going to be a 100% start-to-finish walkthrough of Warframe for new players that is entirely free to play, hence the FTP. I'm doing this project primarily for my son's girlfriend, who is interested in Warframe, but because her and her boyfriend, my son, and me are kind of longtime veterans and have everything there is to have in the game already on our main accounts, it's a little bit confusing for her because she's more of a visual learner. What am I trying to do? There we go. Video capture device. I want my webcam, which is weird. It's very weird. Oh god. Incredibly weird. Okay. But we'll go ahead and put this in here. And we'll fit that to screen somehow. And move it to the bottom so that the frame works. There we go. And maybe turn the webcam light on so people can actually see my face. There we go. Okay. Everything's functioning probably as best as I can get it. Alright, so to continue the description here, like I said, this is for brand new players who are typically more visual learners who want a little bit of a step-by-step guide on how to play Warframe and do so while not spending any money, because we're all broke these days. Apologize in advance for the coughing and raspy voice and whatnot, because, well, I'm just getting over a cold. And if anybody is looking at this and they've watched me in the past and are wondering what the hell happened to my other Let's Plays, I've been recently playing Doom the Dark Ages as well as the Oblivion Remastered. Don't worry, those will come back. This is not going to be an everyday thing with the Warframe for Noobs. This is just a new project that I'm going to be starting that I'll be working on as I have nothing else to do or just really don't feel like doing the other stuff right now. So we'll be working on this. So yeah, this is not to repeat myself, but I'm going to repeat myself a lot. I apologize for that too. This is to help people who want to get into Warframe, but they can't really rely quite so much on the veteran players and YouTubers online. Not so much because their information isn't good, but because those guys are so advanced and so far into the game, it's really hard to make heads or tails of what the hell is going on in the game, and you get really easily confused. So this is going to be a start-to-finish, Let's Play style walkthrough of what to do, showing you absolutely every single aspect of the game, start to finish, everything described in detail, in a manner that hopefully is easy to understand so that newer players can go ahead and pick the game up and enjoy. And I'm doing this in live stream format because it's going to be these are going to be long-form things that cover lots and lots of topics all in one go, and there's going to be some farming that goes along with it. So this is more of a, if you're a person who's really into VODs, kind of like I am, like my soon-to-be daughter-in-law is Again, apologies for the coughing. I'm still getting over a cold. Um, so bear with me on that. But yeah, so the purpose is to explain the game, and then of course we will be doing a bunch of farming of various resources and mods and things along the way. So while I'm farming, you guys can be farming. That's kind of the idea of it. Is you can kind of put this in a side monitor or something, or play it on your phone while you're playing the game yourself and getting all this stuff as kind of a side by side. Now, because of something that I just pointed out, this is a new account for me. I suppose I should probably talk a little bit about my experience with Warframe so people know where I'm coming from. So this will be an alt account. My main account is obviously different. I'm terrible at public speeches. I apologize, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous because I'm hoping this goes over well, and of course now I'm getting a phone call. This is not good timing. All right, give me just a sec. Anyways, where was I? Right. So, my history with Warframe. Let's get back to it and this. Um, I used to make Warframe videos for my YouTube channel. I don't have any on there anymore because I kind of gave it up. I tried to go a different direction with my content, and it really didn't pan out. So this is also kind of me stepping back into what I'm comfortable with, what I'm familiar with, in the hopes to grow my YouTube channel a bit. But yeah, so I've made Warframe videos in the past. I've been playing Warframe since February 2014, so just shy of a year less than the game itself has been around. So, I mean, you can do the math, but it's roughly 11 years I've been playing. My main account that I typically play on is Shinigami Psycho, Shinigami_Psycho. If you guys want to go look it up, you're welcome to. I'm currently Mastery Rank Legendary 3, I want to say. And I'm well on my way to Legendary 4. And I believe the max right now is Legendary 5. So I'm up there. I've done a lot. I've done just about everything there is to do in the game that really is important. There are a few things that I've skipped because at the time that they were introduced as systems, I was just like, it's not important, doesn't matter, don't need to worry about it right now. I was going to focus on other things. So this will probably give me a chance to go back and experience some of that content now as well, because it will be relevant to me. But the main point of this is to show you guys what it is that you do in Warframe, so that maybe you can be a little bit more comfortable with it if you're a new player. And if you are a fellow veteran watching this, whether it be on the YouTube VOD, because I will be uploading these to my YouTube channel when I'm done. You'll find a link to that down below. So if you're watching this over there on YouTube, hello, nice to see you. Please leave me comments, like, subscribe, all that stuff. But if you're a veteran watching this, then please feel free to leave your input either in the chat or in the YouTube comments on like various ways of doing things, because everybody has a different way of doing things. And so what you see me do in the game may be not necessarily the most comfortable way that you play the game. So feedback and input is always welcome in these videos. Apologies, had to cough. Okay, so now then, let's get to the rules of the walkthrough, because there's going to be a lot of them. First of all, because we're playing on an alt account, there are some very strict regulations I have to follow in order to not violate Warframe terms of service. Um, as it is, having an alt account kind of violates Warframe terms of service, but Warframe has come out themselves, DE has come out and said that they will allow it, provided you meet certain circumstances. The biggest one being is you cannot have any cross-account interconnectivity, basically meaning I cannot use my alt to profit my main account and vice versa. I cannot use my main account to profit my alt account. So what does that mean? It means I can't do any trades. It means I can't use any platinum coupons of any kind, which we won't be using anyways because this is a free-to-play account. We will not be spending any money on this account at all. That's one of the extra stipulations that I'm putting on, not just that, but one of the things I've been wanting to do with this walkthrough is show people that you can get literally everything in the game without ever spending a dime. And to some degree, that even includes premium cosmetics. So there will be no cross stuff like that. On my main account, I have a clan, and that clan is always recruiting, and it has no real stipulations when it comes to joining either. If you love Warframe, you want to experience it, and you want to get into maybe some of the weapons and Warframes that are locked behind a clan, but don't really have a lot of experience, or don't really you're a more casual player, then my guild is for you, because I don't boot other people out for non-activity or non-contribution. I feel that as the guild leader, providing things is my job. So all of the research is done in that one. But I can't do that with this alt account. So I will not be in a guild. I will be forming a guild or clan with this account, but it will be only me in the clan. It will be a one-person clan. I won't be allowing anybody into this one. So if you want to join the clan, go and join my other one. It's called the Shinigami Legion. You can look it up in the clan menu and request to join if that's something you want to do. So yeah, no clan interaction, no trade interaction. I will also, another stipulation I will be putting on this account that is not necessarily a TOS problem, but I'm going to do it anyways just to be safe, is no gifting. So because I'm a YouTuber and whatnot, or a streamer, even as small as I am, I've received gifts. I have. A couple years ago, the Hydroid Deluxe skin came out, and I was streaming, and I told somebody that while I was streaming that I hadn't had a chance to get it yet because I didn't have the money, and dude just ponied up the platinum and gifted it to me. So even as small as I am, gifts do happen. So I will be disabling gifting on this account, and gifting will not be allowed. However, I will be allowing trading. So if you want to help me get cosmetics and things, the best thing you can do is trade with me for like mods and prime items in exchange for platinum, provided that they are the platinum amounts are based on the average market price. So for that, we will be going a little bit into Warframe.market, which is a great community resource if you are open to the idea of trading. Excuse me. So yeah, personally, I don't use Warframe Market because I'm terrible when it comes to social interaction. I don't really like it. Hell, even just doing this is stepping outside my comfort zone. So, but that is a thing I will be discussing and going over, and I will show you the site, and we'll show you how to use it, because I do know how to use it. So yeah, but if there's any trading that is going to happen, then it has to be at market value for the items, so that it is fair for everybody. So basically, I don't want to be getting. I had this example in my head a little bit ago. I don't want to be selling a corrupted mod that on the Warframe market is worth 2 platinum, and you're giving me 100 times that just for the one. So like if I'm trying to get something that is 200 platinum, and I'm trading for 200 platinum, and the thing I'm trading is worth 2 platinum, then I'm going to have to sell 100 copies. Like that's how that's gonna work. So, I think that's about it that I wanted to go over. That's going to cover what I wanted to talk about. If other things come up, I'll discuss them as we go along. But yeah, if you're new to Warframe, please feel free to ask questions. That's what I'm here for, is to answer those questions, and hopefully we can help you have a good experience with the game. Warframe is by far my favorite game. It is the one I have played longer than literally any other game, and I think it is very worth it. And I love seeing new people come into the game, and so if it's something you're interested in, please ask questions. I will be happy to answer them the best I can. And again, if you're a veteran and you're watching this, somebody asks a question and I answer it, and you have somewhat of a different answer than me, feel free to chime in, because multiple differing opinions in this game, there are no wrong answers, really. So yeah, I welcome the feedback, and I'm sure the new players will enjoy it as well. And I hope to God I won't be doing that for very long. But again, I do apologize. I am getting over a cold. So, having said all that, I don't exactly know what else there is to talk about. Again, we'll be doing this step by step. We'll be covering every teeny tiny aspect. Oh, I did want to emphasize the guild thing, or the clan thing, since I won't be joining any clan. I will be creating my own. That does mean that we will be getting into some clan crafting. Now, I'm not the savviest person when it comes to decorations, but we will get a little bit into decorations on like how to access them, where you can find them, how to decorate your ship. Just understand you're not going to see any lavish, extravagant things from me, because I'm not that artistic when it comes to decorating. And personally, I like the aesthetic of the game as it is. I don't do any major overhauls to my orbiter ship or whatever. It's pretty basic. I like to just take what's already there and ornament it. So if you're expecting super lavish designs, I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't have that type of creativity in me. Also, I'm going to be drinking things quite a bit to try and help with the coughing. I apologize. Yes, this one is my vice. It's stereotypical gamer. I'm drinking Mountain Dew, but I will say, caveat, I don't want to be entirely unhealthy, so I've got a second one over here, and this is water. It's flavored water, but it's water. So, so yeah, I don't know why I had to point that out, but yeah. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and click the login button now that, well, pretty sure everybody's already seen my login anyways, but I'd rather not show it again. So, click, and then we'll switch over to the live scene and start with... Oh, hey! That's really nice, actually. I wanna... I need to... Where is... Webcam frame 4x3. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we are not playing with controller. We are playing with mouse and keyboard. I'm going to set master volume at 50. And then, let's see, I do the same thing as music, typically. Sound effects we'll put at 70. Oh, too far. Dialogue volume always at 100. Brightness, let's go 65. Hold the sprint. No, I think I want toggle sprint. Hold aim weapons fine, controller aim assist, whatever. Repeated button press. No, we're switching it to hold. This is really important because if the game does have like little quick time events that sometimes will happen, and it'll have this little symbol pop up in the middle of your screen, and you have the option, you can either just sit there and rapidly tap it over and over again to fill a little bar, or you can switch this to hold, and then you just gotta hold the button. It's so much easier. I highly recommend you switch it. Alright, and show subtitles. This is actually a new feature. And this is another reason why I wanted to kind of start over, is because new features. Like, the game has changed so much since I started playing that it's kind of fun every now and then to pop in with a new character, a new account, and just see what has changed. Alright, enough babbling. Confirm settings. Let's get into the opening cutscene. And officially start the Warframe for Noobs free-to-play 100% walkthrough. It's all a mouthful. I apologize.
For generations you've slept. No purpose. No call to wake you.
This cinematic is so good.
Grenier. Seeds from the ruins of the old war. Swallowing colonies whole. But there's still hope.
Semi-spoiler. I wish they would add that outfit to the game. It does not exist right now. I wish they would add this outfit, especially that hood. I love that hood.
The Tenno. Monuments of an ancient warrior caste. Scattered across frail worlds. an empire. Then they left. Forgotten. Like a dream. Wake up, Tenno. Wake up.
All right. So that was epic. So, to start this off, let's do a little bit of a lore lesson here for you. For anybody who is curious about the lore. I told you I'm going to cover every aspect of the game. So, let's break it down little by little. Starting with the girl that you saw running through the cinematic. She's just a human. As far as we know, she's just an ordinary human, and they do exist in this world. The entire premise of this game is built off of human society. The second sect that you saw behind her, the bad guys that they highlighted, are called the Grineer. The Grineer are part of an ancient empire called the Orokin Empire, which was founded by humans, and the Grineer later broke away after the Empire fell to become their own dominant force in the galaxy, or in the solar system, because this all takes place in the Tau solar system, and they are an army of clone soldiers. It's kind of that old they have that old theoretical problem when it comes to cloning of what happens if you clone a clone too many times. Suddenly there is like cellular degradation and stuff. So they're all malformed, they're all disfigured, some of them are missing limbs, some of them are missing eyes, and they use cybernetic implants to augment themselves where they are lacking, and they're just an endless army of soldiers. Now, the three other warriors that you saw fighting, obviously, were Warframes. The Warframes are a tool. I won't go too much further into that because it's a lot of spoilers, but the Warframes are a tool. The only thing I will say is that you, the player, are not a Warframe. The Warframe is just a tool, an extension of you, the Tenno. And that is all I'm going to say on that, because anything more is going to get way into spoiler territory. So let's focus on the Orokin Empire for a minute. What is the Orokin Empire? Again, it started as human beings living on Earth, and they discovered this through space exploration and scientific development. They discovered this other plane of existence in the universe called the Void, and from the Void they were able, through scientific breakthroughs and stuff, to basically discover a method of immortality, which they explain it later on, but the Orokin basically have the ability to body shift, to take their soul from one body and put it in another in an infinite loop to maintain an immortal state and live forever. And so the upper echelons of human society became known as the Orokin. They created these big cities all made of like marble and gold, and they're big and very elaborate and ornate, and then they had subclasses under them of humans, one of those being the Grineer. There's another one we'll be introduced to in a little bit called the Corpus. The Corpus were a more technocratic society that after they broke off from the Orokin Empire, they basically decided to start worshipping the Void itself as some kind of god entity, and their entire society revolves around trade, money, and technology. And those were the two major classes and sects that came from the Orcan Empire, and then of course there are a bunch of other little tiny factions of humans that we'll meet a few of them later on as well. But that's just a tiny brief synopsis of the Orokin Empire. It goes into a lot more detail as the story progresses and new information is discovered. Some of it can be a bit confusing, and they never fully explain everything. It's definitely a story that DE likes to leave kind of open-ended and then expand upon, so that it allows for theory crafting among creators and lovers of the lore. So, but that's a brief synopsis. Yep, big Orokin Empire. They got too big for their britches. There was big-ass rebellion, and then they collapsed. And yes, there is more to that we will talk about as time goes on. So now, let's get into the actual Warframes. Now, they introduced you in the trailer to the 3 introduction Warframes. You've got Excalibur, who is kind of the poster child of the entire series. If you go to my channel, you'll find a Let's Play of a game called Dark Sector, which was a predecessor to this game. In fact, Excalibur is effectively the main character of Dark Sector. It was also a game made by DE. So when Dark Sector didn't work, Warframe was their next big baby project. I think there were a couple other games that they made in between. DE before Warframe was most notable for, I think it was Unreal Tournament. That's right, Unreal Tournament. If that name rings a bell to you, this is why. Digital Extremes are the makers of, or the co-makers, co-producers of Unreal Tournament. So yeah, but they made the game Dark Sector, and they took basically every concept from Dark Sector that failed in Dark Sector, and they added it to Warframe, and it worked. It worked really well. So, and their very first Warframe was Excalibur. In fact, you can even get a custom skin for Excalibur that is the actual skin of the main character from Dark Sector. It's called the Proto skin. It's really cool. So he is our poster boy. He's the main face of Warframe, basically, and he's kind of a samurai. He likes to play with swords and go fast, and he will blind enemies. And he has this really cool energy sword that's a lot of fun to play with. The next one they showed you was Mag. Mag, also, I think, made a minor appearance, maybe. No, I think that was Nyx. Doesn't matter. Mag is also really amazing. Mag likes to play with magnets. It's in the name. She manipulates gravity to some extent, creating magnetic fields to trap enemy fire. Her third ability strips enemies of armor. Her fourth ability generates tiny black holes and crushes enemies while stealing them of their defenses. Mag is probably, as far as the 3 starting Warframe goes, the strongest in the form of just overall defensive capability, of survivability. She's really strong. And then we have Volt, Mr. Electricity. People attribute him more with going fast, but that's really just one ability that allows him to go fast, and it's not even the best ability to go fast. Volt is the electricity guy. He likes to shock people. He likes to use electric energy to create energy shields and to give himself more survivability. He plays with electricity. What else is there to say? So, that's just kind of a basic breakdown of the 3. Now for the big question. Which one is the best starter? There really isn't a best starter. Honestly, it's whichever one looks the best and the most fun to you is the best one that you can start with. Now, as a veteran of the game, knowing what I know about progression and whatnot, I am going to be making recommendations through this thing based on what I know will help with your overall progression. And when I mean progression, I mean like mastery rank and stuff. So the key thing that I like to point out at this point in the stage, of these three, if you're a brand new player and you do not have a clan that you can jump into right away when playing the game, the hardest of these three to obtain is Volt. Because the other two, Mag and Excalibur, you can get through basic star chart progression. And by that I mean just play the game. Run missions, open planets. I'll show you more about the star chart progression once we get to that point. But excuse me. Hope you didn't have to hear that. Give me a second, I need a drink. Throat's already getting dry because I've been talking way too much. Alright, so yeah, like I was saying, of the three that are the hardest to get, Excalibur and Mag, both you can unlock by just running missions on the star chart, whereas Volt has to first be researched in a dojo by a clan, and then you purchase those pieces from the clan. Now, if you have a clan already to jump into, he's the fastest one to get your hands on and the easiest. But if you don't, he's then the hardest. So, I personally recommend, again, from the experience of a veteran who's starting from scratch, does not have a clan, does not have any progression at all, but wants to try to maximize my early game mastery rank accruement, I think this is the word I'm looking for. I want to be able to gain as many mastery points as possible, as quickly as possible, through as many various means as I can. And not having the advantage of having a clan that's already established and has it researched, I'm going to pick Volt. I'm pretty sure most people have already figured that out because I ramble a lot. But yeah, I'm going to pick Volt because I can very easily, within 12 hours, less than 12 hours, could be more like 6, I could have all of the parts for Mag and Excalibur building, whereas it would take me days to get Volt. So I'm going to start with Volt. But again, ultimately, this, I want to reiterate, as far as which one is the best to start with, there isn't a best. It's whichever one looks the most fun to you. Pick the one that seems the coolest. A lot of people, I know, a lot of people typically go with Excalibur just because, again, he's the poster boy, he's the default, and it even used to say it right in his name that this is the ideal Warframe to play if you're just starting the game. But personally, I think for progression, I'm going to pick Volt because, again, of these three, he is potentially the hardest of these three to obtain. Now we're going to look at I love this. This is a cool new feature. I'm going to go with that one because I think that one looks the best. Alright, and we're going to confirm and finally move on. I did warn you guys I was going to ramble a lot, and I apologize, but it's part of... It is necessary for this to be a 100% walkthrough. This guy is Vor.
Has tried to wake you. Pity she's too late.
He's the first boss of the game.
You're my prize now, Deno.
And before we've even gotten an hour into it, we're going to be killing him.
We are taking this one with us.
What has he done to you? I can't lose another Tenno. I'm surging your Warframe's power systems. Quick, use your power.
Alright.
Defend yourself.
Now they're going to tell you how to use your abilities. So I'm going to press 1, and they're going to go zap. Told you, Volt loves his electricity. And I have infinite energy at the moment. That's really fun. Okay.
An extraction ship is waiting for you, but the Grineer will be hunting you.
Excuse
Arm
me.
yourself.
Alright. Now we're gonna go off and get our first weapon. Normally this is where I would talk about the movement system, but this tutorial actually does a really good job of explaining it, so I will go into a bit more detail when we get closer. But I am going to utilize it to my advantage right now. Oh, okay. So, again, I am going to recommend things in this because now it's going to introduce you to your different weapons, starting with melee. I'm going to recommend things to you based on my personal recommendations for mastery progression. Now, you've got two options here. You've got the bow. The bow is a very good weapon that I apparently can't use right now. There we go. Okay, need to change that, like, right now. We're gonna pop in here. Where is it? Melee with fire input. Make sure you have that on if you're playing on PC at the very least. So you have two different buttons in the game for, well, firing a gun and then using a melee weapon. And if you click that, it allows you to basically I can press my melee button to equip it, and then from there I can use my fire gun button to do the rest. And I still haven't finished here. Excuse me. My throat is really dry right now. I should probably be drinking the water more than the soda, but I need the caffeine. Would you leave me alone? I'm trying to monologue. Okay. Oh my god. Go away. Leave me alone. Okay. Now I've already picked up the staff, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to put it down and pick up the Skana, and here is why. Again, for the purposes of mastery progression. I don't know if they've changed it or not. It used to be... Oh, that's not a Mark 1 anymore. That's a regular bow. So it might not actually matter. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. My recommendation might actually be changing. Okay, of these two weapons, again, pick whatever you want. Whatever is the most fun. But I think of these two weapons, the bow actually does more damage. The bow being the big stick. It used to be that I would recommend that you take the Skana, because the Skana, of all of the weapons that you can gain in this tutorial, the Skana used to be the only one that you actually had to craft if you didn't pick it up first from the tutorial. Whereas the Mark 1 bow, which is what they used to give you, is available in the market for credits, which is the in-game currency. The normal in-game, you farm a million and two of them in a matter of a couple of hours currency. The Mark 1 variants are all there for credits for you to just pick up and just start using, whereas the Skana, you had to craft, you had to farm resources, you had to build it, it took time, and I don't know if that's still the case or not. But I think for the sake of better safe than sorry, I'm going to go ahead and play with the Skana. I like the single sword anyways. Yeah, shatter armor with heavy blows. And this one says, slice through enemies with agile warrior's blade. Yeah. Alright, so none of these are really hard to craft anyways. The basic bow we're going to have to craft, I know for a fact, but it doesn't take much. Or maybe they changed that too, and I don't remember. So, like I said, this is not... I'm refreshing my own memory with some of this stuff, not just teaching you guys. Mostly I'm teaching you guys, but some of this stuff I'm learning new for the first time myself. Alright, so, now we are on Earth, which is cool. Feel free to look around, play with the movement system, get a feel for it. There's a few different buttons. I won't go through them too much right now, but you've got your jump, you've got your crouch, you've also got a basic roll. I do believe one of your buttons is a sprint and a roll, so you tap it to roll and then hold it to sprint. I don't use that one. I prefer to have those two functions separate. But then the other fun thing is if you're running and you crouch. So here's your crouch. If you're running, you crouch, you'll do what's called a bullet slide. And then while you're in a bullet slide, if you jump, you will bullet jump. And then you can double jump through that, and it propels you pretty far. You can do ground slams while you're in the air. If you do a bullet jump and then you hold aim down or block, you will aim glide. And then while you're in aim glide, you can press your roll button to go even further, or you can hit crouch again to kind of propel yourself forward. You can get some pretty far distances in this game just with the basic movement speed. Like, the game gives you vehicles later, and it's almost faster to ignore the vehicles and just use your basic movement because it's so bloody fast. So yeah, here we're teaching you about double jump. In this spot, we're going to teach you about slide, melee. You can do, if you're running and you crouch and you hit your attack button, you'll do slide attacks with your melee weapon. If you jump, look down, and hit it, you'll do a slam. The game also has an alt fire button that'll let you do a heavy attack. And if you're up in the air and you use heavy attack, you'll do a heavy ground slam. All stuff that it'll cover later. Here we have our first loot crates. Don't be afraid to collect everything that you find. In fact, when you're first starting the game, I highly recommend you take time in your missions, learn how to play the mission, explore the maps, because the maps are very well designed. A lot of them have a lot of secret areas with extra loot in them. Some of them with rare loot chests that give you really good stuff. It's worth it to take your time and explore the map to the fullest. Don't be in a rush to get through the missions as fast as possible. Don't be in such a hurry to get to endgame that you miss out on the scenery. This game is really fun, and yeah, endgame is great, but take your time. It's not designed to be played fast. As far as like game progression is concerned, it's not designed to be fast. Take your time, explore, look at the terrain, look at the environment, break shit. Do it all. Okay, and now we're gonna crouch here.
There's a cache of weapons ahead. Grab what you can.
I think I was actually supposed to stealth attack him, but I kind of got carried away with my monologuing. And my throat is all raspy and my voice is cracking because my throat is all dry. Oh no! Look here. Oh, this is a new feature. So, I told you there were other basic humans in the game. Well, here's a whole bunch of them. And based on their clothing, they are part of a small Earth-bound faction called the Ostron, which we will be introducing you to the Ostron a little later in this very video. That's really... It's cool that they added like that little extra feature, but it's also really sad to see all these Ostron bodies just kind of floating here, because they're really cool people. Alright, here's stealth attack, secondary weapon. So, to do stealth attacks, you gotta crouch up behind them, get all stealthy. There are Warframes that go invisible, make this a lot easier, but yeah, you just sneak up behind them until you see the little prompt there, and then push button. It's that simple. Alright, I'm gonna go like full stealth for whatever reason in this. So we've got two options here. You've got a gun and you've got throwing knives, the kunai. Personally, I can't stand the Lado. It's a garbage gun. Even at base level, and modded for that matter, it's a garbage gun. So, and I don't like it, so I'm gonna pick the kunai. In this regards, there is no difference. The kunai, the Lado, you're gonna have to craft both of them later, unless of course they've both been added just for credits. You might be able to actually pick up the Lado for just like 25,000 credits, which I know I just said 25,000 and somebody just went, what? 25,000? How are you so nonchalant about that? Dude, I've got millions. That's how. And I can show you how to earn like 50 to 60,000 credits in like 5 minutes. That's how I can be that nonchalant about 25k.
Hurry, before Roar finds out you've escaped.
Is before this mission is this live stream is done. This live stream is going to be about 3 hours long, 3.5. Before it's done, we will have 100,000 credits. I can almost guarantee it. Almost. We'll never say 100% certain guarantee because, well, nothing is ever 100% certain, but I'm fairly confident that before this stream is over, we will have 100,000 credits. Because they're just that easy to get. The trick for credits is not gaining the credits. That's the easy part. It's keeping them. Because there's a lot of shit to spend credits on. I mean a lot. I think in my lifetime on my main account I have earned almost 1 billion credits overall. But right now I'm only sitting on like 1.3 million. Which again sounds like a lot. A lot. But you'd be surprised how fast you can spend 1.3 million credits. Oh, there you are. Okay. Killed some enemies. So these are ammo pickups. Don't know if you can tell by the wording just right over there. You know, bottom of the screen. The spot right there. It says primary ammo full. So you've got ammo drops. This is a health orb. So if your health is low, this is how you regenerate health. There are methods of passive health regeneration in the game, but honestly, they're kind of slow. And health regen is so much better when you do like health pickups, because there are mods that'll amplify that by a lot, and one of them will actually be getting pretty early on. Probably one of the most powerful mods in the game. Isn't that hard to get? Alright, what do we got here? Oh, now we're being taught bullet jumping, so that's what I was showing you earlier. So yeah, if you hold left shift, which for me is crouch, and then tap space, you will bullet jump. And then if you do that while you're on a wall, if you're looking at a wall and you press space again, you will hop up the wall. Used to be that what you would do is you would look at a wall and you would hold your ascension button and you would just start running up the wall, but you had a stamina bar, so you could only run so far before you run out of stamina and then just fall back down. They got rid of that a long time ago, and I'm really glad they did, because the current movement system is so much better. And stamina was just a joke. Alright, these are some more loot crates. Go ahead and smash those. Oh, also one other button that I think is really important. I have it set up, I think. Yes I do. So for me right now I'm holding tab. This is called your quick progression menu. So if you're ever in a mission and you want to know if you've got something or not, you can hit this button and it will pop this up and it will show you what loot you've already collected, any experience that any levels that you've gotten on your weapons, any bonus XP, because you get bonus XP for leveling stuff and weapons. It'll show you how many kills you've got, how long you've been in the mission. As you can see, the timer at the top. If you're playing this on controller, this button is not hotkeyed. You will have to do it manually, but it is an option, and I highly recommend it. I spend a lot of time looking at this window. There is also a more advanced version of that on console, where I can press P, and it pulls up a full page screen showing you all your extra loot, because your quick progress menu only shows you so much. Like you can see my loot, it's got the little scroll bar on the right, and it'll only show me what's there. And if I try to manipulate it at all I do is move around my my character behind it. But if I press P, it pulls up a full UI window that shows me all my stuff. I can interact with the scroll bar if it's there. But again, it'll show me all of my XP progression and whatnot. It's really valuable. That one, though, I don't think is available on console. If you're doing this on... Shut up, Lore. If you're doing this on console, you won't have the hotkey, so you'll have to actually enter your menu here, and then you can look. Typically, there will be an extra button here that says View Mission Progress that you can click on. But while we're here, you can also look at your Warframe abilities if you want to know what they do again. You can look at your melee combos for whatever stance is on your weapon. I don't know why that's considered on my weapon right now, but there you are. It's kind of weird. Communication, you can look at your friends list. Every player has an inbox. Be sure to check these. Typically after you've done this, I'm going to ignore these for now. And then, of course, options. You can go ahead and customize your settings. Yeah. Typically, you want to check your inbox when you're back in the main player hub, which we are not even close to just yet. Hey, a Kuwaka. Oh, and I can't kill this one. Alright, then. Now they're going to introduce you to blocking.
You made it. There's the extraction chip.
Nobody does blocking, by the way. Melee blocking is a thing. Nobody uses melee blocking. Absolutely no one.
That will not happen again.
Alright, so I'm going to equip my melee weapon. And I can hold down my aim button and I can block.
This will hurt.
Yeah, see, that's what was supposed to happen. He's supposed to shoot me with a little laser beam from his hand, and I'm supposed to block it. They changed it. It's probably for the best, because nobody blocks. I was not joking when I say absolutely nobody does any blocking, like ever. We even have sword and shield weapons in this game. Nobody blocks.
This tenno is mine.
So this is kind of introducing you to Vor a little bit more.
Get to the console and release the lockdown. Do that, and I will guide you to your old ship.
But we also kind of pissed him off, so he ran away. Basically, we attacked him until his shields dropped, and he didn't like that, so he ran away. My melee slam did not go off as I wanted it to. Alright, now we're going to introduce you to hacking. There are many different hacking puzzles in Warframe. But really, most of the time, you're only going to be interacting with 2. I think there's actually like, what, 3, 4...
I've marked the console on your map.
4, possibly 5 different hacking mechanics in the game that you can interact with. 3 of them are more prevalent than the rest, And 2 of those 3, by the time you get used to hacking, you'll be able to do them blindfolded. This is the first one. This is the Grenier hacking puzzle. And it just skipped it.
The Queens wants to destroy you, but
Okay,
I
well, we'll have
need
another chance to do it
know
in a
more.
bit. Oh, here we go. That's an energy orb, by the way. So, every Warframe comes with abilities, and those abilities consume energy. So as you see there, I just used my zap, killed an enemy, and it said 25 energy pickup. And now that little blue orb is gone. That too, it's a finite resource, and there are ways to passively regenerate energy. Some of them quite powerful, but early on, it's not the best option. In later game, you'll get a couple of mods, and we'll go into mods later, but you'll get a couple of mods. Mods obviously stands for modification, but mods are cards, and every Warframe and weapon in the game has these mod slots that you put these cards into, and they alter what your Warframe does. Again, we'll get far more into that later. I'm already rambling way too much. We should be just about to the point of getting our next and final weapon, which is a primary weapon. So, we have a machine gun and we have a bow and arrow. I'm going to go with the bow and arrow because, well, I'm just going with a theme here. Kunai, knives, sword, samurai. Again, in this regard, it doesn't matter which one you pick up. Both of them are available for credits, I think. Or both of them have to be crafted. Either way, there is no wrong answer with these two. Just pick the one that looks the most fun to you. Me, I'm a stealth archer at heart. Every RPG I play, I'm a stealth archer at heart. So, I'm going to grab the bow to start. Are bows my favorite weapons in Warframe? No. Sadly, they are not nearly as good as they could be, unless you're talking about one bow specifically, which is a late game weapon that you get from your dojo. It's very, very, very powerful. Okay, maybe there's 2. I forgot about the Natterrook. I'm thinking of anybody who's a veteran watching. I was thinking of Proboscis Cerdos, and I forgot all about the Natterrook. And for those of you going Probosca what? Natahu, don't worry. They're just the names of weapons. This game has hundreds of weapons. Do not worry about trying to memorize all of their names. Some of them are a bit out there. Alright, so again, we'll grab some resources. These are loot lockers. Always open those. They sometimes can contain rare resources. At least until you have like an overabundance of resources, you should be breaking every crate and opening every locker that you come across. Oh, and speaking of coming across things, the map. This is another feature that's on console as well as PC, and it's one I frequently use. That is the overlay map. You can see it in the top right corner, but if I press the map button on my computer, it gets a lot bigger. And it has the ability to rotate. Typically, I turn that off, and in fact, I'm going to now. Let's go to, was it interface? Yeah, HUD, margins, damage numbers, blah blah blah. Ability banner on cast, yeah. Let's do that. Ability dots, health, lock map rotation, yes. That's going to keep it from running around or spinning all over the place. I'm going to mark my pet too. Yes, we will be getting into pets. I watch a few different free-to-play tours every now and then, and they always skip over pets because they don't think pets are important. Which, in the grand scheme of things, like getting an ending game, I suppose pets aren't really super duper important. However, oh, and prefer overlay map. This one, when you click that on, makes it so that this style map is always on, and then you have to hit the button to minimize it. Like I said, I prefer the overlay map like this because I play on a really big screen, and so it makes it really easy to see enemies and loot drops. And yes, you can put things on your loadout, on your weapons, Warframe, whatever, that will show you on the map exactly where loot drops are. And apparently I'm not allowed to go that way. Okay. And they usually show up in the form of these little white square boxes or rectangles all over the map. But we're gonna make sure that we open all of those. There we go. Opposition dealt with. And now let's go back to the hacking from earlier, because now we actually get to do it. So this is the first of the hacking puzzles. It's real simple. You see the little thing spinning around. You've got to time it just right and hit the button where it is. There are two different styles of this, and as you progress, the circle will fill up with more nodes. The two different styles of this are the one where you hit the node and it continues spinning like that, and then there's another style where you hit the node and it will reverse the direction that it spins. And you got to do it pretty fast. So definitely take some time, do some missions that require hacking, and get used to it. Because you'll be doing it a lot. And it'll save you a lot of resources on things like hacking ciphers. Hacking ciphers are a utility item that you can get that will allow you to just auto-hack any console, anytime. But there are certain mission types in the game that do not allow you to use ciphers, so it's worth it to familiarize yourself with the hacking mechanic and just get used to doing it manually, because you won't always have that ability. There is also a mod. Again, I go back to mods. Mods are going to be a big prevalent topic of this entire walkthrough, because they're like the key to everything. You want to become an ultimate damage god? Mods. It's all about mods. But yeah, there is a mod that you can equip that I think we can get relatively early too, that gives you like a 30% chance to just auto-hack any terminal. It's really nice. And when I get it, I will be using it. Oh, man. So there we go. Finally, now that I've stopped running my mouth so damn much, we have finished the tutorial of Warframe. Well, so to speak. The prologue. We've finished the prologue. So, okay, login rewards. We have different login rewards. Initiation cash. Prodigal credit bundle. Credits. 25,000 credits. See, look at that. Told you, it wouldn't take us very long to get a lot of credits. Hell, that, we just got to log in 3 times, and it's going to give us 25,000 credits. And 1,000 Endo. Endo's really good. We'll get into what Endo is as well later. But right now, it's going to give us Gallium, which is a rare resource. And if you see the hover, it tells you you can find this on Mars and Uranus. So how do we get to Mars and Uranus? I will show you.
I am Ordis, ship Cephalon, a shadow
Hello,
of my
Ordis.
former self. I cannot serve the operator in such a condition. Order me to self-destruct. I will understand.
The Grineer are ravenous for this old technology. It is superior to theirs. Perhaps there are systems left in the orbiter compartment?
Look at this mess. Those savages. Components have been removed. The lower orbiter compartments have no life support. Why did the operator abandon me?
We'll check out what he's talking about in a moment.
Arsenal management could be restored if the operator wishes it.
Just waiting for them to finish with dialogue. We are in the middle of a quest right now. Social. I am going to hide all chat. Private messages are okay. Active tab notifications. Profanity filter does not matter because I'm turning off all chat. Scale down to small. And I do this in my main game too. I don't talk to anybody. You are more than welcome to do so. But again, this is for the purposes of this Let's Play. I don't know if I mentioned it or not also, but for this Let's Play is going to be entirely solo. At least as much as possible. There are a couple of missions that I have to do that require me to be in a team, and there are also a couple of missions that are just so out there hard that it's just a better option to play them in a team. But those are not for a very long time. So 99.99% of the game, I'm going to be playing solo. Speaking of which, when you first log into game, so that you're not caught off guard, up here by your name, this is your player profile icon thing. The little picture is called your glyph. So if you pop down here and under profile, you can look at your profile, and if you go to the one that says glyph, you can change that image. And from this screen here, this looks overwhelming. It always will. Yes, most of these, you can see this little number here. This is premium currency. And it's asking you to pay premium currency for these. Do not do it. There are hundreds of glyphs in this game that you can get for free. There are even codes that you can go over to warframe.com and you can redeem codes from various YouTubers, and there are others online that are just generic that will give you free glyphs. You can even get a couple of weapons using those redeemable codes. Now, I won't worry about the weapons personally, but yeah. So, yeah, ignore that. Don't ever buy a glyph for platinum unless it's just like really, really stands out to you and you have the extra platinum. The platinum, by the way, is the name of the premium currency. You'll see it up here on the top right. We will not be spending any money on this game, so that 50 platinum more than likely is all I'm going to have for a very long time. However, I did mention earlier trading. Trading platinum is tradable. So you can trade in-game items to other players in exchange for platinum. It is entirely possible. And that is where the website warframe.market comes into play. Go to that website, type in the thing that you want to buy or sell, and it will give you a list of all the people that have that item, what they are selling it for, and it will give you an idea of what you can sell yours for, as well as what you will pay if you want to buy something. And it's a really, really good exchange. It's a very valuable resource if you are someone who enjoys interacting with the community. Personally, I don't do that because I don't like that. One of my biggest wishes for this game is basically I want them to take warframe.market and put it in the game. I want an actual marketplace in the game itself where players can post items on the market, and then that item gets taken from their inventory and it gets put in like this little tiny cloud space inbox, and it's held there for a set amount of time until someone comes along and buys it. And then if they buy that, then the player gets the platinum that that person spent on that item, and then the item is delivered to the person who purchased it. Or if in the time limit it does not get bought, then it goes out of that cloud-based inbox and gets sent back to the player to be relisted later. That's how it works in MMOs. And it's the one thing I have wanted in this game since the beginning, is a place where I can just go look at a marketplace and go, oh, I have some platinum. I want this item. Click buy. Hey, here's my item. And that player gets my platinum. I don't know why they haven't implemented that, but the next best thing is warframe.market. And I highly recommend, if you're into trading, want to get a bunch of platinum, and don't want to spend any money, it is absolutely the way to go. And you can get literally everything in the game for free by doing it. Now then, now that that ramble is over with, back to glyphs. Don't buy any glyphs unless you have the extra platinum. But this is confusing, and scrolling down here to see what you may have and what you don't have is tedious and boring, and I don't want to do it. So we're going to come up here to this tab here where it says sort by name, and we're going to click on sort by owned instead. And it's going to take the ones that I currently own, and it's bringing them all right to the top. Absolutely fantastic. And I think I'm going to, since we're playing with Volt, I'm going to switch my glyph to the Volt glyph. Why not? So that's about glyphs and market trading and stuff. Hopefully that all makes sense. If not, please ask questions. I would be more than happy to elaborate. And again, if you're a veteran listening to this, you've got more input you want to add, feel free. Be my guest. Every little bit of input is welcome, as long as it's done in the manner of education and friendship. Alright, before I leave this screen, the other thing I wanted to point out, like I said earlier before my rant about Platinum in the Marketplace, is I'm going to be doing this mostly solo. So if you look up here next to your player icon, you have this little button here. This is your networking status. It is, by default, set to public, meaning the very next mission I run is going to put me in a team of people. I don't like that. I don't want that. So you have options. You can go friends only, meaning that you play semi-live, but the only people that can auto-join you are your friends. You have invite only, where they have to ask permission to come in. And then you've got solo, which is the one I'm going to be using primarily for this. The nice thing about solo is if you are in the middle of a mission and you have this set to solo, unlike the other three options, solo will let you pause the game mid-mission. If you have to go do something and you're in the middle of a mission, solo will let you pause the game. The other two will not. Very, very valuable piece of information. So if you know you're going to be playing alone and you've got something to do later on, and you can't guarantee that you're going to be able to stop the game in time to go do the thing you need to do, put it in solo. Because you can pause mid-mission. It's the only version of networking that will allow that. I had another thought in my head about that, but it just completely left me. Anyways, yeah. So we're going to be putting this in solo so that I can pause if necessary, which is fantastic. I may very well set this to invite only later, in case I want to do, like, if there's always a chance we're going to end up getting into some prime farming, because that's going to be a thing. I'm going to be doing some trading and whatnot. I want some shiny cosmetics well, I can't get through my own various means of normalcy, because I'm not spending any money on this account, so I'm going to have to do it through trading. Which is going to be stepping outside my comfort zone, but I want to look good. If you ever hear anybody tell you that the true end game of Warframe is fashion frame, it's the truth. Because fashion is everything in this game. You want to look shiny and be a badass. That is the ultimate goal of playing Warframe, is look cool and be a badass. So, and we will get there. So yeah. And this is just to show you, this is your profile screen. If you want to keep track of like what weapons you have, which ones you've progressed, you can come in here. You've got your stats page. Shows you like how long you've been playing, how many kills you've gotten, how many missions you've completed. This is how I also know about my credits, because you've got here gross income 0. Yeah, my main account, that's not 0, not even close. I also have almost 10,000 hours in the game, for anybody who's curious about that. I've played almost, and that's going based on my Steam hours. I've also played this on PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox for I don't know how many hours on each of those, so there's a good chance I've actually played over 10,000 hours But just based on my Steam numbers alone, I am well over 9,000, well, and on my way to 10. The other thing you can see in this menu is factions. There are lots of factions. We will get into them. Don't worry about it. But if you ever need to just quickly look at your reputation and see what you've got, this is a way to do it. The game has over 200 achievements. If you want to see which ones you have versus which ones you don't, you can come in here and look at them. Click on one. It will tell you exactly what you need in order to obtain it. And none of them are very hard at all. We will be getting the vast majority of these just by playing the game naturally and not even worrying about achievements. Just play the game and you'll get them. But yeah, if you ever need a specific item, here is the list. There are 736 items in this game, including warframes, weapons, vehicles, companions. It's a lot. It is a lot to take in. But if you ever need to see just exactly what you have completed versus what you have not, here they are. And again, this has a little option here. You can sort. I recommend if you're going to sort, you sort by progress. This takes everything that you are either currently working on or have finished and brings it to the top of the list. So you can see I have Ash or Volt unlocked here. He's now at the top of the list, and then everything you still have yet to complete is at the bottom. So it makes it a lot easier to see just exactly what you have done versus what you need to do left. And I personally spend quite a bit of time looking at this window as well. And you can itemize it. Primary weapons, secondary weapons, melee weapons, companions. Each category of item in your arsenal that gives you mastery points towards your player rank is listed in here. And you can see what they are. And again, I know looking at this list right now is probably incredibly overwhelming for a brand new person. Take a deep breath. Relax. It is not as bad as it seems. It looks absolutely overwhelming as fuck. But most of these weapons, you will level them and throw them away. So you don't need to worry about builds on them. You don't need to worry about their stats. You don't need to worry about anything. The majority of these weapons, once you've picked like the 3 or 4 that you really truly like yourself, the majority of them you will level them and throw them away. So it's a lot less headache-inducing once you think about that. Typically, my personal preference is I will keep 1 copy of every weapon that has a unique name to it. And what I mean by unique name, here's a good example right here. You've got 2 different weapons, Aphurus Prime. These are not unique names to me. These are the same weapon, 2 different variants of the same weapon. So I would level the Aphurus, throw it away, get the Aphurus Prime, keep that one. And that's more or less what you're going to be doing with a lot of these, especially because another one of my big pet peeves in this game is inventory space. You have inventory space. I hate it. It is my biggest complaint. It is my greatest revulsion when it comes to Warframe, and that is inventory slots. Now, there are ways to gain inventory slots for free, but starting out, you get 3 Warframe slots. You can see here, it says I have 2 open slots and Volt. You get 3. There are 60 Warframes in this game, and it gives you 3 starting slots. I hate it. And yes, like I said, there are methods of getting free slots, but they're not abundant, and they're time consuming, and I hate it. And in addition to that, you get 8, 9, 10, 11 weapon slots. 11 weapon slots. When you saw that list, there are hundreds of weapons There are 8 slots. This is why I said, don't worry about, like, how many there are, because most weapons, and this is mainly why, is because you're limited on space. So you have to be kind of selective as to which ones you keep and which ones you don't. And again, there are free methods of gaining more slots, which is fine, but they're not abundant, and they're not like readily available for you to just go, oh well, I just feel like going getting more slots. The only way to do that is with platinum, and it's bullshit. It's the one thing about this game, because this is a freemium tactic. I don't play a lot of mobile games, because this is the kind of shit you'll find in mobile games, where they will limit your inventory and then go, well, if you give us money, we'll give you more inventory space. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. This is about the only game I play where I tolerate it, honestly. And that's just because there are methods of gaining free slots. That's the only way I tolerate it, is that you can get them for free. But it does take time to get them for free. And I absolutely hate it. And it's the one thing I wish, beyond all measure, that they would get rid of in this game. It would be the single greatest quality of life update they've ever made to this game, if they would just get rid of the limited inventory space and just give you infinite slots. Alright, so our mission wants us to come and look at this. This is the single most important piece of your ship. You will spend more time in this spot than you will actually spend running missions in the game or doing farming of any kind. You will spend the vast majority of your time standing here in the arsenal. The arsenal is where you equip your Warframe. You equip your weapons.
What Captain Vor has done to you and stop him.
Now we do not have
help. I found a communication segment we might salvage for your ship. When you are ready, activate your navigation system.
Thank you, Lotus.
Ordis hopes the operator will punish the Grineer for dismantling it.
Thank you, Ordis. It's the quest. I have to be patient with it because it's part of the quest, and it's not avoidable. But sometimes when I'm in the middle of a monologue and they just pop up and start talking, it can be annoying. But yeah, I don't have it yet unlocked yet, but this is also where you will be modding all of your weapons. Like I said, you will be spending the very bulk of your time in this game standing in your arsenal. Because this is also where we do appearances. So if you wanted a new custom skin, which that one is badass. I absolutely love that one. This one too. Absolutely phenomenal. That one's probably my favorite. And I own both of those over on my main account. But yeah, so, and then of course there's these ones. Now these ones are unique, and I'll tell you a little bit about this because this is probably one of the coolest things about Warframe. So if you see this little blue marker next to a cosmetic item, this is called Tenogen, as it says right there. Tenogen is creator-made content. These are all skins that were made by players of the game that DE then took and decided to say, you know what, we're going to take this and we're going to sell it in game. And for every sale that you make, that every time this is purchased, we're going to give 30% of the price that we get of that sold item back to the creator. So the Tenogen, it's kind of like paid mods, but it's good paid mods because it's purely cosmetic. There is no power creep, no gain of any kind of this. It is 100% cosmetic, but the best part is, again, this goes to support the creator because they give a portion of the money spent on this skin back to the person who made it. It's really nice. And some of the best skins in the game are Tenogen creations. In fact, these skins, these specific skins, this one's a deluxe skin, this one's a deluxe skin, or more specifically, it's called an heirloom skin. These skins were done by Tenogen creators who were so good at creating Tenogen that DE decided to hire them and make them full-time art designers. That That right there is why I love this game so much, and why DE is probably one of the best game companies around. Because they support their fans. They also listen to us a lot. And when there's enough outcry about something, they actually listen, and they'll make changes based on what people are saying. It's fantastic. Love this game. Love this company. They're one of the few corporations out there that actually listens to the people that buy their product. It's wonderful. But yeah, like I said, you will be spending a ton of time looking at your arsenal, doing different things. Oh, and this is a fun little extras thing here that they've added recently too. So these are all cosmetic loadouts that have been prepared. You can see the little parentheses DE. These are all people that work at Digital Extremes, and these are different cosmetic loadouts that they have made for this Warframe, and you can click on them and not only see their creation, but see exactly what items are in that creation, and if there's anything here that is available for purchase and you don't currently have it, but you have the platinum to buy it, you can just click on it over here and it'll take you to that item in the marketplace and let you buy it, which I think is pretty damn awesome. Alright, that's enough about our arsenal. Not much else to see here or talk about. Yep. Void Relic Console offline segment required. Yep, that's another quest later on. So, next, let's talk about the star chart. Because this is the other place you're going to be spending a lot of time in this game. Like, a very, very large quantity of time. So, the star chart is where you run missions. The game is procedurally generated, and the mission, all of the time you spend in game running around, hacking at enemies, collecting loot, they're all going to be done in missions. Every planet in the solar system, it's a big map, has a bunch of missions. There are a couple dozen different mission types. The first one we're going to experience, actually, because this is a quest, I think this is going to be a couple of different things in this particular mission. But typically, this is an exterminate mission, where the objective is to get in, you have a set number of enemies on the map, and it wants you to kill them all. Pretty cut and dry. And personally, exterminate missions are one of my favorites, because exterminate missions, because they're so cut and dry, they're really simple. The objective is real plain as day, black and white text. It gives me the opportunity to explore the map, to discover all the different little facets of the terrain. It allows me to hunt for loot, because my only objective is kill enemies. Now, the objectives in the various missions will get more complicated as time goes on. But the first few missions it introduces you to are very basic. This one, I think, is going to actually introduce us to a couple of different mechanics that you'll find in other missions, where in this mission it has the multiple mechanics. In normal missions, each of those mechanics will be in a different mission type of its own. So, right now we're just, hey, successfully perform 100 stealth kills. Told you, a lot of those achievements that I showed you earlier in the challenges window, you're just going to get by playing the game. You won't actually have to try to accomplish them. You can try. Like the stealth kills, now that you know that it's there and it exists, if you wanted to, like, keep your distance and hunt for enemies like this, and find them, and just from a distance while they're sitting there idle, and just pick them off and get your stealth kills. Hey, I just leveled my weapon. That is totally something you can do. You can just hang out and chill. Do not, again, I can't emphasize this enough, do not be in a rush to get to endgame or to get everything, because the more you rush, the more you're going to be left behind. Take your time, explore, look at the scenery, poke around the map, see what kind of little hidey holes. I'm pretty sure there is, or there used to be, like a little, there it is, yeah. There's just like this little alcove in here that's got a bunch of loot chests that if you are running through the map just trying to complete shit as fast as you can, go completely unnoticed. And in the early stages of the game, you want to do loot farming. And the best way to do it and have fun is to just slow down, chill, take your time, enjoy the game for what it is. Kill some enemies, work on leveling your weapons, because there's a lot of them. And I'll go over in a bit how mastery points work and leveling your weapons affects the game and whatnot. There we go. Hey! There's an achievement. Find your first mod. Trick Mag. Not a mod I typically use, but hey, it's a mod. And collecting mods is good. Because they have more value. When we unlock the mod segment, I'll go far more into mods and whatnot. But mods themselves, there are thousands of mods in this game that you can get. And a lot of them will go unused. But mods themselves, just because they are unused in your mod builds, doesn't mean they have no value. So it's worth it to go, like, when you're running through missions, if you are killing a giant horde of enemies, and you look at your map, and suddenly you just see that there's this massive pile of loot. Hey, reach rank 2 with any weapon. There's another new achievement. But yeah, if you see these massive piles of loot just kind of laying around, take a moment, run over and pick it all up. Because, again, there's nothing in this game that isn't of value in some way. And early game resources, they're not hard to come by, but they are if you ignore farming. Like, if you just run through and you just kill all the enemies and you don't give two shits about loot crates and stuff. Ooh, okay. Gonna have to talk about that later. You see it says requires scanner. The scanner is a utility tool that goes in this menu here, which I am now making visible by holding Q on my keyboard. Which I think that's the default key. But this is called your gear wheel. And we'll go over gear later, but the scanner is a utility tool that you can put in your gear wheel, and then you can use it to scan this, and not only will it unlock codex entries that will tell you more about that item, but this one specifically is resource. And right now, you can only get this resource by scanning it. They are supposed to be changing that as early as this month, in fact, in a couple of weeks. Today being June 1st, 2025. Or June 2nd, sorry. Yesterday was the 1st. But yeah, they're supposed to be changing that so that those resources no longer require scanning. And instead, you just, when you find them, you just interact with them and pick them up. But I've heard some backlash about that as well. Here we have some Kubro. Another mod. What do we got today? Another Trick Mag. That's okay. Like I said, no mod is worthless. They all have value. So, since we're on Earth and exploring things, keep an eye out for these Kubro dens. These spawn doggies, and they also give you eggs that you can then use to breed doggies and have doggies as pets. Oh, okay, cool. So that yellow orb I just picked up was Affinity. Affinity is Warframe's term for XP, experience points. And you can see by picking it up, I just leveled quite a few things. Because it spread it evenly across my entire loadout. So everything in my loadout just went up a level by picking up that orb. Again, it's why I say it's very important, very valuable to take your time, run through the mission. See, look at this hidey hole. Here's some scanner resources. The glowing thing on the ground, that's a corpse. If you walk through it, it didn't give me anything this time. Typically, if you walk through that, it'll give you like a few credits or something. We'll go ahead and open these. Bow ammo and some credits. There's some more credits. Here's another scannable resource. There's a couple of different planets that have scannable resources. Earth is unique in that it has two different types, and depending on the time of day, determines whether or not what certain ones will be visible. Some only appear at day, some only appear at night. And that is unique to Earth for some reason. Even though technically every planet has a day-night cycle, for whatever reason, that particular thing is only available on Earth. Ooh, nice. What do you get? Neurodes. Goodbye. Alright, if I remember right, somewhere right around here. Hell, it might even... Nope, not that tube. Nothing in that tube. Okay. Maybe it's on top of the tube. No? I must be in the wrong spot then. That's okay. But there's a guy over here shooting us, and I haven't explored this area yet, so we'll take him out and then go down here and see what loot we can find. Ooh, double kill. Gotta love it. Oh, hey. And this is another rather large map file with lots of loot crates. And, from the sound of it, we've got some more Kubro. Kubro's the name of your dogs, by the way. Anybody wondering why I keep saying that word? The puppies that you see running around there, they are called Kubro. And if I remember right, there are 5 different breeds of Kubro that you can actually breed and have as pets to keep and to cuddle with in your ship. Hey, another new mod, Slip Magazine. I got quite a few friends coming up the channel there. I might just have to zap them. Let's go ahead and pick up some more loot here. There's another Kubro den. You can always tell by the big black hole in the middle. There we go. Got some ferrite. More ferrite. They're a bit wily. You get the sword. It does feel kind of bad to sit there and attack the Kubro. I watched Luality play this recently, and she got all kind of sad that she had to... that the puppies were attacking her and she had to hurt them. And I get it. I understand. As an animal lover myself, I totally appreciate why she doesn't want to hurt them. But yeah, if you don't actually do that, they're just going to keep attacking you. Plus, there's loot to be had by killing the wild ones that are nipping at your heels. Oh, I think I might have actually just found the exit. Yeah, I did. That's the end of the map. And that's another fun thing about this game, is you can do that. You can just randomly stumble upon the end of the game. And I could go out there too, but right now there's no reason to. But there is loot out there to be had, and we will collect it soon enough. Right now, let's head back to this room, because there are still more secrets in here. believe there's a Kubro den under here somewhere. Unless I already took it out. No? Okay. Well, then I'm going to go this way. And that one's a dead end. Okay. That's the way we have to go up there. But you can see shiny up here. There's some loot boxes that way. Grab these. And we're going to go ahead and pop up here. Fun little secret. I don't know how many people know it, but there's this little switch here you can hit, and it opens that. And then we can come down here, and there's some loot crates. There are also mods in the game that give you the ability to open these red ones. Most people don't use them, and typically by the time you get pretty far into the game, I wouldn't even say to end game, because hell, I stopped using them pretty soon after I started playing. There we go. Hey, see? I walked over the corpse, he gave me credits. That's how that's supposed to work. I hear you. Come to me, my little XP farm. Oh. Someone down here is playing with a doggy. Maybe the doggy was trying to play with me? Yeah. I think that was the case. Doggy was trying to play with me. I heard a Grenier voice, though. Don't know where he is. But we're not in an exterminate, which means they're never going to stop spawning. Exterminate missions have a finite number of enemies that will spawn into a map. It's typically like 10 or 20 higher than the overall amount that they actually want you to kill for the objective. And then once they're all gone, they're gone. Most other missions, though, they are endless. Enemies do not stop spawning ever, which is good because it means you can just kind of take a bunch of time, horse around in missions, and farm XP for your weapons. Weapon XP gain is determined by the level of the enemy that you are attacking and the amount of damage you deal with the weapon you attack them with. So the more damage you hit them for, and the higher the level they are, the more XP you're going to get. Alright, so this is our introduction to spy vaults. Grenier force fields trip the vault's alarm and drain energy if touched. So our objective is to get into the vault without triggering the alarm. If we do so, there's bonus XP in it for us. But if we do trigger the alarm, it's not an instant fail. Typically a timer will start, and you've got until the end of the timer to get into the vault and to trigger the console before the automatic fail. So we're going to slide through there. Now this particular vault is going to be one that you're going to see a lot because it's very prevalent on Earth. It's one of the 3 or 4 main vaults that you'll find on Earth. And so you'll be in this one a lot, especially early on in the game. And I'm saying that because I wanted to point this out. So there's a few different ways typically that you can get through a vault and get into the computer. This one is probably one of the absolute easiest because you can see the grate in front of my face and it's shining, which means you can break it. And if you go up through that tunnel, it puts you immediately in the vault chamber. Easy as pie. All done. Also notice on my map, if I come over here, you can see that little red triangle on my map. That's the enemy. That's the guy that's out here talking. And in spy vaults, if they see you, they can trigger alarms. So avoid them if you can. And kill them if you can't. But then we just pop in here, and this is just the basic hacking mini game again. You can see my little nodes are in a different spot. but you just hit those,
They won't even know it's gone.
and you're good
The
to go.
segment is yours. Head to extraction.
As every
Hello,
moment
Vor.
passes, the Ascaris burrows
And then once
deeper,
you've got the console,
revealing
don't forget to look around the vault and look for more loot, because there are loot crates everywhere. Oh, I did it. Solve a cipher in under 5 seconds. You see how easy that was? I remember when I first started playing the game, that one was in there, and I thought it was hard. Because originally, it was a bit more challenging. But as you can see, I didn't even try to get that one. Like, it wasn't even a thought in my brain or an afterthought of any kind. And we just got, oh, solve a cipher in 5 seconds. Oh, I did that. That's a thing that I did without even actually thinking about it or trying to accomplish it. It just happened. That's how most of the achievements in this game are going to go. You play the game, you get the achievements. And you just don't give them any real thought. There's only a couple of them that you actually actively have to try. And that's because their requirements are a bit outrageous. Like the travel 1,000,000 kilometers on a K drive. Or is it 10 million? I can't remember exactly. It's a lot. And it's kind of ridiculous. But there's also a way to cheese that one. Alright, y'all just get the shock treatment. Where did y'all come from? You dropped energy. I need that. Alright. Now again, these guys are going to endlessly spawn. You can sit here and kill them, and they'll drop loot for you. Which is really good. Definitely worth it. But there are better loot farms. Much better loot farms. And XP farms, for that matter. So we'll kill a few just because I really enjoy killing in this game. I enjoy video game murder. I do. It's a lot of fun. And it's the best kind. Because it doesn't actually ever actually harm anybody. Boing boing. Get 100 kills in a single mission. See how easy that was? If that seemed like a lot, just wait. Because I have gotten as many as 100,000 in a single mission. Now granted, I was in that mission a very, very long time. Alright, now we're gonna come over here and avoid the end so I can get some extra end of mission loot in these little side passages. Told you we'd be back here. And I'd show you all about the loot spots over here. But you got to avoid the green circle. You go into the green circle, mission over. Oh, excuse me. I don't have any energy. And these guys aren't holding still enough for me to poke them with my bow. Stop unequipping my bow. And somebody, please, drop me an energy orb. Oh my god. Thankfully, I'm not at any real risk of dying. These guys do so little damage. There's no way that they can actually kill you unless you stand here and let them. Nope, come on, nope. I want my loot. There we go. Now we'll hop up this way. And there's another one of those little alcove things over here. If anybody at this point is wondering why it is I'm wasting time going into all these side passages and whatnot, I did say this was going to be a 100% comprehensive walkthrough. That includes map layouts and loot locations. I'm going to cover literally everything I could possibly think of. Hey, Slit Magazine, another new mod. Not a mod I want, but hey. That's alright. Okay. I can still hear more guys. Yep, he's over there, but I'm going to ignore him now. And now we're going to go into the green circle and finish the mission.
Another job well executed.
And look at that, 6,000 credits. Ooh, Hornet Strike, Serration, Pressure Point, Slit Magazine, Trick Magazine, mods, and more mods. Guess what? It's time to talk about mods. Especially because they just gave us 2 very, very, very strong early game mods.
Orbiter Void Cloak engaging. Welcome back, Operator. The Operator has recovered a segment. Install it now. Ordis patiently awaits its installation.
Which one? Oh, this was
Get
the
communications
codex.
online. I must analyze what Vors Ascaris is doing.
I was
to
hoping it
your
was the mod
Warframe.
segment.
This technology is beyond the Grineer. It must be Corpus in origin.
Because I can't do anything with those mods I just got until I get the mod segment. But this is the codex. This gives me a chance to talk about the codex.
Systems engaging. I suppose this will do. Ordis is grateful.
Now, the codex is an incomplete tool.
The Operator is now connected with other Tenno in the system.
Am
the
I?
Operator may now contact black market
Oh.
scumbags. Contact arms dealers.
Excellent idea, Ordis. Tenno, we need to make contact with a Corpus defector sympathetic to the Tenno cause. They will, of course, require compensation.
Can you all shut up,
You
please?
see what Ordis is referring to, Operator?
Give me like
In this case, compensation will not be credits.
30 seconds.
It will be freedom. I've updated navigation. You will need to break him out of a Grineer gulag.
Him. I know who you're talking about. Okay, don't know if you noticed or not, but in that conversation when Orda started talking, he said that the operator is now connected to other Tenno in the system. I am now a part of the network, meaning the next mission, if I did not change this, would be public, and I would have a team. That last mission, I would have been solo regardless. Now, I'm part of the network, meaning my very next mission, I'm connected to other players. So if you want to not be lost and confused in your next mission, make absolutely certain at this point to go in and click that button next to your profile name off of public and put it on one of the other 3. Whichever one suits you. Put it on solo, friends only, invite only, doesn't matter, just take it off of public. You do not want to be running public missions until you're much further in the game. At the start of the game, you do not want to run public missions. So make sure to change that. Now then, back to the codex. As I was saying, the codex, very important tool, but very incomplete. The way the codex works is there are things in the world, weapons, objects, items, and as you collect them, they will be added to the list. Some of them, like I can't. This is organized by ranked. It doesn't have an option to sort by owned. That's a problem. But this is a comprehensive list of every mod in the game. Ignore it. Absolutely ignore it right now. Do not touch that. But enemies. In order to fill this out so that you know what the enemies are, their strengths, their weaknesses, what kind of loot they drop, you have to scan them into the codex. Most players I would venture to say 99% of all players, including veterans, do not have a complete codex. Nobody really cares about the codex on a grand scale. The codex is important to do, and scanning is something you will want to do. There are easy ways to do it, though, that don't require you to really give it a lot of thought, so it goes pretty well ignored. It's one of those when the game updates and Warframe gives us a new type of enemy that has new item drops that need to be scanned in the codex, every veteran goes, okay, time to equip Helios. And that's it. That's the sum of it. Helios is a companion that we will be getting. I don't know how soon, but soon. His blueprint, I believe, is in the dojo, meaning we have to research him first. But once you get him, he has a precept mod. Precepts for companions are their abilities, like Warframes have your special powers. Precepts for your companion precept mods give them special abilities. In fact, way back in the day, Warframe powers used to be mods. Believe it or not. And you had to pick and choose which abilities you wanted to use versus which ones you didn't care about by putting the mod in the mod slot and picking your abilities. And I'm so glad they got rid of that because, oh my god, it was such a headache. But yeah, most days anytime they update things and have new codex stuff that has to be done, we just all go, okay, time to pull out Helios. And I'll explain more about that when we get into codex scanners, which I can kind of do right now, actually. But yeah, all of the objects, your loot crates and resource nodes in the game that you find, if it's a static object that you can, if you can scan it, or if you can interact with it in any way, then it is scannable, and when you scan it, it puts the entry in the codex, and it tells you more about it. Codex is also where you'll find your entire list of warframes, weapons, companions, as well as things like arcanes and void relics, which are other things that we will not talk about right now and get into later, because again, as you can see, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Please do not get discouraged. I promise you, it's not as complicated as it looks. It looks fucking insanely complicated. It is not. I promise. Most of this stuff, again, you will collect it and ignore it. So, other things that you can do in the codex, though. This is also where you'll keep track of all of your quests. Once we're done with Vor's Prize, there will be a list that opens up in here that will show you all of the available quests in the game, as well as telling you exactly what prerequisites you need to do in order to unlock the ability to do that quest. And yes, this guide will be going through every single quest and showing you what you need to do to complete them. So if there's a specific Warframe quest you need, like the Mirage quest, if anybody is familiar with that one, and you don't know what I'm talking about, Mirage is a Warframe. You get her parts through a quest. The quest has puzzles that it wants you to solve. They're word puzzles. Those word puzzles take you to specific places on the map. It's a pain in the ass. I will be covering it in this walkthrough. So if you haven't done Mirage yet and you want to, stick around. Because I'm going to do it. Because I've done every quest in the game on my main account, and I intend to do the same here. So yeah, quests are in here. The Laverian is a type of library that has unique dialogue and story behind specific warframes. So might be something to look at, poke around at. There's also training in here that gives you kind of a basic breakdown of some of the game's more complicated mechanics. They're not the greatest as far as tutorials are concerned. These could definitely use an update. But if you actually read them, you click on one, you can see it gives you the basics. Deny your enemy, gives you basic movement, tells you how to sprint. You click down here on the right button, it'll take you to another page. It'll give you a bit more information. Problem is I think, okay, if you don't care about that, you can just hit escape, I guess, and it will back out. So you've got basics, advanced movement, melee tactics. Here's the one for modding. Nobody really knows this exists, but it does. And it really doesn't explain modding. Not in the slightest. Like, it explains the basic concept of modding, but it doesn't really help you with modding. Period. So it's one of those things. It's there, you can read it, but most people ignore it because it doesn't really tell you anything of value other than things like this. This is a valuable screen. So these are what mods look like, and it tells you the rarity. Typically, you'll know the rarity just by the color, but it's got these little dots up here too. The more dots, the more rare it is. Whatever. Every item in the game has a drain. What's called a drain, or a mod capacity is what it's most commonly referred to. And the drain on a mod is how much mod capacity it will take from your overall total in order to put this mod in the Warframe. And it is possible to reduce that as well. Again, we'll get into all of that later. But fusion is how you increase the strength of the mod. That requires 2 resources to do it. Endo, which is one we saw earlier, and we'll get a lot of Endo in the game. Millions and millions of Endo. Again, Endo's not hard to gain, it's hard to hold on to. And credits are the other one. I don't understand what the whole equipped thing is. I've honestly never seen that little symbol. Nobody ever pays attention to that. But yeah, here's the name of the mod, tells you what that mod does, and what specific loadout item that this mod goes on. This one specifically, it's going to add fire damage to whatever primary rifle that you equip it to. Now, the game's weapons are broken down into weird categories because you've got 4 distinct main categories for items. You've got your Warframe, you've got primary weapon, you've got secondary weapon, and then you've got melee weapon. But in those categories, there are subcategories, and the most confusing one, the most annoying one, because they like to put mods specifically for them, is primary weapons, because you have rifle, but you also have sniper, and then you have bow, and then you have shotgun. And each of those has unique mods. It's annoying. But still, that's what a mod, that's the basic of what a mod is, and we will go into proper modding and stuff later. Upgrading mods, blah blah blah. You can read this if you want to pause it and read it on the VOD. I'm just going to go ahead and ignore it. But anyways, yeah, the basic tutorial of modding in the codex. And then we've also got a few tutorials on how to do specific missions, but these, again, most people ignore them. It's easier to just go ahead and go run the missions themselves to figure out exactly how to do them. And that's what we're going to do. In fact, our next one is a specific mission type. It's called a rescue mission. And that is what we will be doing right now. So, let's go rescue a friend. Or someone who's soon to be a friend. And then we're going to ignore him forever. Well, maybe not forever, but most of the time.
The arms dealer is named Darvo.
Now, I
He's
know
being
we're
held
on
in a
Earth,
prison block on the other side of this factory
but
complex.
this map is actually not Earth. This is Ceres. The name of the planet that you normally see this map set on is called Ceres.
How many Grineer slaves died to build this place?
So yeah, this would also, like I said before, be the first mission if you were paying attention to the dialogue in the quest.
Darbo
This
is
is
out
the
for
first
himself,
mission that you would have
but
the
he is sympathetic
availability
toward
to
the
play with other
The
people.
Grineer must have found out.
And again, I highly recommend that you go in and turn it off of public as soon as that is available to do, because otherwise this mission is incredibly
Don't let Vor
boring.
distract you. Focus on the mission. It's our
Because
only
typically
hope
what
of
happens
figuring
is
out
someone
this link
else,
with him.
either other new players or someone with an alt account, will come in here and they will just blast all the way through to the end, do the objective, and get to the end of the mission before you've even had a chance to get out of the starting room and actually like explore and figure out the game. Ooh, Northwind, good mod. Very good mod. Any mod that allows you to put an elemental ability on a weapon is a very good mod. And I do mean elemental, meaning there are 4 different types of elementals. There are 7 types of damage in the game. 2 or 3 of them you're going to ignore. So the majority of weapons come with default with 3 basic types of damage. Those types of damage are called impact, puncture, and slash. And you will hear people refer to them very commonly as IPS damage. So if you hear someone say IPS, that's what they're talking about, is impact, puncture, and slash. And impact, puncture, and slash comes on the vast majority of weapons in the game. It's different weapons have different amounts. It's not always the exact same amount, and some weapons are more favored of one type than another. So when I'm talking about elemental damage, I am not talking about IPS. That's why I bring it up. When I say elemental damage on weapons, and I bring this up because there are mods that will actually allow you to increase your IPS on various weapons, those mods are not worth using on your weapons. They're just not. Those types of damage, although they're good in their own rights and unique, are usually not worth modifying to increase their overall value on the weapon. Typically their default stats are fine. So when I'm talking about elemental damage and why mods specifically that give you elements on your weapons, first of all, I'm talking about the 4 actual elemental type weapons, and when I elemental I mean like environmental. So there are 4 of them. There is fire damage or heat, there is cold damage, there is toxin, and then there is electricity. And those 4, whenever you get a new mod that allows you to put one of those 4 elements on your weapon, it's a very good mod. It's absolutely wonderful mod. And it does not matter what rank that mod is. If you have it and you have the available space, you should put that on your weapon. There are also other elements that you can get and put on your weapon that are created by combining those 4 base elementals. And we'll get more into that when I can actually unlock the mod segment and talk about them. Because then I will pull up some of the mods that we have and I will show you the elemental combinations rather than just sitting here talking about them. Alright, let's come on upstairs here. We've got more friends that need an extra hole in their head. Ooh, a nice health. Didn't realize I was low health. I mean, it really wasn't, but... Go ahead and kill a few more enemies, just because. And again, same thing goes with this map set. Like, every mission, especially early game, when you're still learning things, getting a feel for the weapon mechanics, the combat system, please take your time. Explore the map. Explore the mission. Take extra time to learn the mechanics, get a feel for them, get familiar with them. Do not rush the game. Please do not rush the game. It's the number one thing I see new players doing that is a big mistake, is they get onto the streams of veteran players and go, what's the fastest way to endgame? Don't be in a hurry to get to endgame. Please don't be in a hurry. It is entirely possible to get from where I am now to this, for those of you who are familiar with it or have heard the term before, the Steel Path, within a week, maybe 2 weeks. It's entirely possible to rush this and get all the way there. But most players, especially brand new ones, if you've never done this before and you do that, you are going to be severely underclassed and underpowered, nowhere even close to ready to actually handle that content, and it's going to cause you to get discouraged, and you're going to put the game down and not want to play anymore. I know this because I've had that very same experience with other games. And I've watched a lot of other new players. Hell, I have a couple of them in my own life. My girlfriend is one of them. I tried to get her to play Warframe, but unfortunately, we kind of rushed it a little bit, and it got overwhelming and confusing, and we just kind of did our veteran thing with a new player, and, well, she got discouraged, and now she wants nothing to do with it. It's entirely my fault. Her complete lack of enjoyment in Warframe is entirely my fault, because I did not give her the chance to take the time in the early game to just run around, explore, get a feel for things, play with mods, see what mods you like, see what mods you don't. All of that is very, very important if this is a game that looks interesting enough to you that you want to sink a lot of time into. I hear a lot of players say that this isn't an MMO, and it's, for all intents and purposes, it's not an MMO. But it does have that one unique characteristic of MMOs where this game wants you to spend a lot of time playing it. And that's the one thing a lot of new players get in and see this, and they don't seem to realize that that's the case. They get in, they think it's kind of like an RPG where they can spend like 100 hours in the game and they'll be ready for end cap and just like absolutely slaughtering enemies and doing billions of damage at a time. And crap, I just I screwed up. All right. I screwed up. Oh, this is so painfully slow. We're gonna have to open that regardless. Wow. This is so slow. There's Darvo. Hello, friend.
Extraction is ready. Remember, your success
Well, good.
here
I
depends
got
on
to
getting
show you
Darvo out of
exactly
there
what happens when you
alive.
fail. And I can still open this one. If the panel's yellow, I can do it. Most of the time. I think that's more green than yellow.
Lotus must be desperate to send you fetching greedy fools from the corpus.
I got... So yeah, Darvo here, the guy we just rescued, he is part of the Corpus faction I was talking about like an hour ago. Hi everybody. Zap. Oh, you're on the rampart. And I don't have any punch through on my bow. So, we get to kill you the fun way. Now I'm going to destroy this. So that no one else can use it. Where? Oh, there you are. Alright. It wants me to go out that door, so let's just go ahead and go. Now, in rescue missions, once you rescue the capture target, they are vulnerable. So you have to keep an eye on them. Or, alternatively, you can just ignore them and run really, really, really fast to the exit. Like, that is entirely a possibility. And it's actually recommended. So I'm running around looting because I'm pretty confident I can keep this idiot alive. Also, if they take too much damage and effectively die, they won't actually die. They go into what's called a downed state, where they just kind of fall on the ground and they sit there and they go, help me, help me. And then you have the ability to come along and pick them back up. So, fear not. Oh, and you're playing with my...
deep enough to give me influence. Shall we see how your shields work?
No, leave my shields alone.
The Ascaris is letting Vor control your shield. We must figure out
He
how to
lowered
prevent
my
it. Avoid
shields.
taking damage while I try and block him.
So they went up? Somebody explain that to me. Okay, see how my shields are now purple when before they were blue? When your shields are purple like that, it means you have more shields than your maximum amount. And it's a term called overshields. So he just lowered my maximum shield cap, and somehow it gave me more? I don't get it. Zap. So yeah, typically this is not a good idea. I'm running around killing enemies, still looting, while I have my rescue target in tow. Don't do that. Your best option is to not do what I'm doing right now and looting, and instead is once you rescued your rescue target in your rescue mission, just haul ass to the exit. Because babysitting is a pain in the ass. No matter what game type you're playing, babysitting sucks. So don't prolong your suffering any more than you have to. Don't be like me right now and looting. Even though I said before you should loot all the time. Rescue missions are kind of one of the only exceptions where it's like, no, if you've got a rescue target in hand, if you've collected your target, ignore the loot and just get the hell out of Dodge. Because protecting them is annoying. It's incredibly annoying. But rescue missions are very valuable to run. And we just got a bunch of other fun new mods. Really important mods. Like that one. And a couple of these, if you notice the color, are rare. This is actually a really good time to point out most of the majority of your rarities. So you see the little dots as well. So these ones are common, and they're bronze, copper. You can see the color. And then you've got your uncommons, which are silver. And these ones are rare, which are gold. There are other tiers. The other one that's most common is called legendary, and they are white. And they also have mod segment. Yay! They also have another name to them. They're called primed mods, and so most people just refer to them as primed mods because, like this one. So primed mods, what they are is basically better versions of other mods that already exist in the game. I point this one out because this is one of them that has a primed mod. There is a version called primed continuity, and you see how this one has the little dots at the bottom, the ranking. This one has 5 dots. The primed mod has 10. and because it is a legendary weapon mod, or a Warframe mod, because it's a legendary mod, a primed mod, not only does it have 5 more pips, which gives me considerably more of what it does, it's also considerably more expensive to level it up. And I don't mean that lightly. When I say considerably more expensive, I mean like
I see
double
the operator can enable the mod
or
segment
even
now.
triple.
Ordis will be delighted to show you how to upgrade your arsenal. May I recommend fire?
Fire is good. Alright, so now we get to show you mods and talk about mods. Here's the mod segment. And for all intents and purposes, you won't spend a lot of time in this looking at the actual mod segment
Operator,
itself.
I've linked the mod segment to your arsenal
There
now.
are reasons
No
to do
need
it though,
thank
and
me.
I am going to tell you about them.
Upgrade your Warframe now.
Yep, it
Go
wants
to
me
the
to go
arsenal to see the weapon
to the
upgrade
arsenal.
options you have.
And I'll show you why you'll probably never walk over here to this and select this and open it up and look at your mods. But here's all the mods. Yay,
Ordis
pretty
patiently
mods.
awaits compliance in using the new arsenal features.
And if I
It
go to
is for the
incomplete,
operator's own good.
this is my favorite menu because the incomplete menu not only shows you the mods you have, the mods that'll show when it says incomplete, it means any mod that you do not currently own and is not currently at
Ordis
maximum
patiently
level.
awaits compliance in using the new arsenal features. It
Shut
is for the operator's own
up,
good.
Ordis. I will get to it when I'm ready. So yeah, this includes every mod that you currently don't own, as well as every mod that you do not have currently at max rank.
Ordis patiently awaits compliance
Shut
in
up,
using the new
Ordis.
arsenal features. It is for the operator's own good.
I'm gonna turn him off if he doesn't shut up, which is bad. Personally, I don't think you should ever turn off Ordis, but there are a lot of veterans who just turn him off because he gets really annoying.
Ordis patiently awaits compliance in using the new arsenal
Okay,
features. It is for the operator's
there we
own
go. Arsenal.
good. Isn't it beautiful, operator?
Now shut up.
Complex web of variables and synergies. Oh, the possibilities are endless. Ordis realizes modding may seem a tad overwhelming, but
Truest statement in the whole
everything
game.
makes sense. Install the mod before we can continue.
Shut the fuck up and let me
Thanks for
talk
helping
about
me
it,
out,
and I
Captain.
will.
I'm in your debt, and I often pay my debts. I recognize that device. It's a parasitic restraint. We Corpus use something similar to keep our robotics in line. So, to settle my debt, I give you a very
Patience.
expensive blueprint. For free. Because I like you. And well, a lot of my customers don't live long with these grenade dogs chewing up the system.
I gotta have some
Here,
patience.
use your foundry to build a countermeasure device from this blueprint. Good luck.
Vor's Ascaris is burrowing into your Warframe. I'm worried it will affect your mind. I can't lose you, Tenno. We must restore the ship's foundry immediately. A nearby ore extraction colony
They're
will
gonna be at
have the
this for a
foundry
bit.
technology you need. I am certain they will share it with you. Its location has been added to your navigation console.
They're not done. Are they done? I was expecting more banter between Ordis and Darvo. Darvo, by the way, offers you discounts on platinum purchases, specifically like weapons and stuff in the marketplace. Don't ever do that. They're called Darvo deals. Don't ever fall for the scam that is Darvo deals. It is a scam. Darvo is a corpus. It's literally a joke thing, but people actually buy them. But Darvo is a con artist. That's his MO in the game. He's a corpus con artist. So he offers you this Darvo deal that is discounted platinum purchases on weapons that you can farm in the game for free. So don't ever buy a Darvo deal. Never buy a Darvo deal. Like, it's in the game because it's a funny haha, but you can literally get scammed if you buy a Darvo deal. It's a scam, but it's designed to be a scam. But if you don't recognize it as a scam, then people fall for it. And they're like, hey, I can get this weapon that's normally 60 platinum for only 25. Not knowing that that very same gun is free. If you just get the blueprint for credits, farm the resources, and then you can build it, and it only takes like 12 hours to build, which, yeah, is a long time, but it's far better than spending your hard-earned premium currency on a gun that you can just farm for free. It's a scam, and it's meant to be a scam because Darvo is a con artist. Literally, that's his deal, is he's a con man. The only reason he's helping us right now is because he was in a Grenier detention facility, and he really wants to get out of that detention facility. So he'll help us in exchange for his freedom. So don't ever buy a Darvo deal. Alright, let's get back to the mods that I was talking about before Ordis was so impatiently annoying me. Talking specifically about the incomplete tab. There are a couple of tabs on here that are more important than anything, and they are the only two that you would ever actually need to use when coming to this terminal here to look at mods. And those two are your duplicates as well as the incompletes. And again, the incompletes, they show you two different types of incomplete. They show you any mods that you do not currently own, and there's a lot of them. Please don't get overwhelmed. I promise you, again, just like the weapons in the game, most of these mods, you will get them and ignore them. There are a few that are quite unique and useful, but the vast majority of these mods you will never use, and they will just sit there in your inventory and take up space. You will eventually end up collecting all of them, because it's important to collect them all, just to have them all, but yeah, like most of them you'll just end up ignoring. So, the most important things to know here, is that specifically, and then the duplicates tab will show you any mods that you have more than one of, and if you pick that mod and select just one copy of it, oh, look, complete Vor's prize. You have different options of things that you can do with it. The most common one is to fuse. Fusion is the act of increasing the rank of the mod using credits and endo. And as you can see, the higher in rank it goes, the more it costs. That's just pretty commonplace stuff. This one's a rank 10 mod. There are typically 3 different types of mods that you'll have that they matter to me personally more than rare, uncommon. That's not nearly as important as the other 3 categories, which are determined by the number of overall ranks in a mod. There are 3 different types. You have rank 3 mods, which only go up 3 ranks. Then you have your rank 5 mods, which go up only 5 ranks. And then you have your rank 10 mods, which go up to rank 10. Now, there are a couple of exceptions. There is one, I think, specific group of mods in the game that have a maximum of 8. Personally, I ignore those mods. I don't like them, not one bit. Because they, just like Darvo, are kind of a scam. But at the same time, they're also kind of useful. They're called Rivens. We won't talk about Rivens until we actually get a Riven. It's going to be a while. But you can fuse. That's one of the things you can do here. The other thing that is very unique that you can do in here is when you're looking at your mods is you can select 4 different type of mods. I definitely highly recommend that you only do this with duplicates. Absolutely do not do this with a mod you only have 1 copy of. In fact, I don't even know if the game will let you do it with a mod that only has one copy. But if you select 4 different mods, it unlocks this. This will sacrifice those 4 mods to create one new mod. That one new mod is entirely random, and the percent chance of getting rare mods is not very high to begin with, and is also determined by the rarity and the type of mods that you select. So for instance, if I want a higher chance of getting a rare mod, first of all, I want to choose 4 rare mods. Secondly, I want to choose 4 distinctly unique rare mods. So if I have like 7 copies of Intensify, and so I use 4 of them and transmute, I have a less of a chance of getting another rare mod than I would if I used a Continuity and Intensify, Swooping Falcon, and another rare mod. 4 distinctly unique rare mods. So but even then, the chances are low, and it's far more likely that you could even do those 4 unique rare mods, and it'll give you a common. So transmuting, unless you've got a specific daily objective that says transmute mods, don't do it. It's not worth it. Especially because every time you transmute, it costs you credits. So don't do it. And the other things, obviously, you can see here, you have sell and dissolve. Now, these are only going to be done on duplicates as well. You can sell your mods for credits. If you have extras but you need some credits, you can sell them for credits, or you can dissolve these mods into Endo. And this is why I said earlier that every mod, regardless of whether it's a one you're never going to use, whether it's one you've got 100 copies of, every mod has value, because you can always take those extra mods and turn them into bonus credits or Endo. So always pick up every mod you have. Now let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of mods, and that is the actual modding process itself. So we talked earlier about mod capacity and drain. So here's where that comes into play. Every Warframe you have is going to have a mod capacity. This mod capacity will increase as the rank of your Warframe goes up. I believe it starts with a base amount of mod capacity. I don't know if I'm currently looking at that base amount or if it's increased because Volt is rank 9. But every rank that you get with your Warframe will give you 1 additional mod capacity for a max total of 30. And that can be increased even more. If you click this action button, you'll see this button here that says upgrade. And it says buy Orokin reactor for 20 platinum. First of all, don't do that. You can get plenty of free Orokin reactors, and it has a counterpart for weapons called an Orokin catalyst. You can get those in abundance for free by playing the game. Do not do this. Do not buy this with the 20 platinum. It's not worth it. But what this Orokin reactor will do once you have it is it will double your base mod capacity. So at Volt's maximum rank, which is rank 30, the vast majority of weapons and Warframes in the game go to rank 30. There are a few select weapons that will go to a max rank of 40. We will talk about those when we get there. For right now, though, for the purposes of this conversation, 30 is the highest. So without a reactor, Volt's maximum capacity at rank 30 would be 30 points. The Orokin reactor, again, click actions, here it is, put this in, will double that from 30 to 60. Now, that is not the highest number of points that you can get. There are also a special type of mod, which we will be getting soon, because one of them is a quest reward for Vor's Prize. You see this up here, it has a unique symbol in it. This is called an aura mod slot. And the special mod that goes in there is called an aura mod. Aura mods are unique in the game to other mods because unlike regular mods, that when you put this in here, say Vitality, it has a drain of 2. So I currently have 19. I put this up here, that's going to go down to 17. And I just got an achievement for doing it. So that takes away points from your overall mod capacity. Aura mods give you more mod capacity instead of taking it away. Each one has its own unique drain, and just like other mods, you see these little symbols here? These are called polarity point slots. Each mod has its own unique polarity, and when you match a mod with the same polarity as a slot in your Warframe, it takes that mod capacity. You see that? The stretch right here, it says 4. I put it up here. It just went down to 2. It cuts it in half. And it is important to point out, though, that it cuts it in half based on a 2-digit or based on an even number. So, for instance, if I was to take this, and I think I can. Okay, maybe not. So if I was to take this, you see, if I was to put that rank in there, you see the cost goes from 4 to 5. Now, if I was to take that same mod at a 5 cost and put it in that slot, that would still say 2, because it does it at an every 2-point interval. So if it is anything lower than its base, so like a vitality mod, which goes up to, so every rank gives it another polarity point cost. So this is 10, so it goes up to a total of 12. It would cut that in half to 6. Some mods, like my stretch here, doesn't go it's only got the 5 points, so when I max this out, the polarity cost will go from 4 to 9. But when I put it in the mod slot and cut it in half, it will treat it as if it is a rank 8. So it will, and basically what that means is it will, when you put it in there, it will return to you 4 points. It will return to you half of what the mod costs if the mod was rank 8. So when you put it in the slot, instead of it saying 9, it would actually say 5. So we will see that. I will be showing you that. So just bear in mind. But it does the same. It does the same thing. It has the opposite effect with aura mod slots. So it will double it, and again at the same interval. So, and I think most aura mods at maximum rank, when they're all like max rank, they most of your aura mods only have 5 pips. They're all rank 5 mods. So at max rank, I believe their drain is it's still called a drain, but it goes up. It doesn't go down. Their maximum drain is 7. So it gives you a total of 14. There is one unique aura mod that goes higher than that. It's called Steel Charge, and that one I think it's 9. I think it's 9. But it's been so long since I actually used Steel Charge, because there's so many other better aura mods. Steel Charge gives you bonus melee weapon damage, in addition to some extra mod polarity slots. But there are so many other better aura mods that I haven't used in a long time. But I believe at the end, so like, normally when I put an aura mod in here, it'll tell you the amount it gives you is a total of 14. So their base is 7, and it gives you 14 points, meaning your maximum mod capacity with a reactor is 74. I believe Steel Charge brings that up to 79, so it gives you an extra 5 points. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I actually used Steel Charge. But yeah, that's the basics of modding. And then again, there are hundreds of different mods. Each ones do different things. The most unique ones you want to worry about with a Warframe are specifically ones that modify your powers. in some way, and that even includes survivability mods, because some of your Warframe abilities will be affected by overall health, overall shields, overall armor. All of those things can affect your abilities, and that's kind of what you want to determine, what you want to use as the deciding factor of what you want to put on your Warframe. And if you've gotten everything you want on there for those, and you've got a couple extra spots, then you can consider things like casting speed, or shield recharge rate, or sprint speed, or parkour velocity. These are all things that you can consider in making your own unique custom builds. For me personally, right now, I'm going to go ahead and put stretch and intensify in here. And actually, I can fit them all, so we're going to go ahead and put vitality, continuity, and redirection in there as well. And look at that, we just got another achievement. Apply 4 mods to something. There we go. Alright, now let's go to my bow. I only have 1 mod, and that's serration, and that just increases overall base damage. Watch what happens to my numbers right here. This is what I was talking about earlier with the IPS. So my bow has impact, puncture, slash. These are reversed for whatever reason. I think this is the most common order you'll see them in, top to bottom, but people always read them as impact, puncture, slash. So it's always referred to as IPS for whatever reason. But when I take this serration and I put it up here, also that's another thing. If you notice, these two have different polarities. So this is most commonly referred to as a V polarity, and that one is a dash, because it's a dash. These actually have their own unique names. So this V polarity is actually called Materai. Nobody remembers that. It's a V polarity. But if I just try to take this V and I try to put it in that dash, you'll see the drain actually goes up. So it was 4, now it's 5. So it actually increases. So you want to try and avoid doing that. There are some circumstances where it's okay to have that negative polarity cost, is what it's called, that when it goes up like that. But more commonly than not, you want to try and avoid doing that. And if you notice, by me putting that in there, all these numbers are now green, which means that all increased in damage. It's increased all of my base stats as well as my total damage. And everything in here will do that when you apply mods that do various things. Like there are mods that will increase your critical chance. There are mods that will increase your critical damage, your status chance. And when you do that, those numbers will go green and tell you like the differences and whatnot. But yeah, this is the basics of modding. It's really not that hard to comprehend. We're gonna go ahead and put some more damage here. Magazine capacity, ammo maximum. Both of those are actually decent right now, so I'm gonna just... And I've got the mod points, so let's just go ahead and put them on. Oh, and this one's unique too, in that, I don't know if you noticed that or not, when I pick it up, that one on the end there turns green. This is called an Exilis mod. It's an extra utility mod that gives you some just fun little extra feature for your weapon that doesn't necessarily do anything significant to the overall mod build performance on your gun. So it's kind of a utility mod, meaning it can be ignored if you really want it to. But they did actually a while back add like an extra slot. And again, purchase Exilis adapter? No. 20 platinum may not seem like a lot, but when you're doing that for over 700 Warframes and weapons, that adds up really, really fast. So don't do that. I do it all the time on my main account when I just got extra platinum. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just buy the adapter. Don't do that. You can farm them. It's perfectly fine. So yeah, don't buy those. And I'm not going to be buying them because, well, free to play. So, but we're just going to go ahead and put all of those in there. And then finally the Skana. Let's throw our pressure point up there. That one is melee damage. And this one, we've actually got 2 elemental mods, and I can combine them. So let's go ahead and show you what that does. So we've got our elemental mods here. This one gives me heat damage. This one gives me cold damage. And when I combine these two, they turn both of those into blast damage. And there are 4 different elemental types, and each of those 4 can be combined in various ways to create a bunch of new different elemental types that do various things. And it's very important to learn which ones do which, and decide for yourself which ones you actually like doing and which ones you don't. Personally, on my weapons, I favor what is called the meta elements, which is if I combine cold damage with toxin, it produces something called viral damage. And viral damage when you apply viral damage to an enemy, it reduces their overall maximum health based on the amount of health they would have if they were at level 1, which is unique. So you can take some incredibly tanky enemies and turn them into paper mache with enough viral status procs. It's kind of fun. And then heat damage is unique because it strips armor. Heat damage, it will set our enemies on fire. It will give you some crowd control because when they're on fire, they flail around and won't attack you. But in addition to that, every heat proc that they are affected with, if an enemy has armor, it will strip away their armor permanently. Get rid of it. Heat damage is incredibly powerful in this game. It's one of the best elements. So the typical thing to do is to put viral damage and heat on your weapon. That's the typical meta, or at least it has been for a long time. All of the elementals have their own unique things that make them useful in one way or another, but the ones I prefer to stick with are viral and heat. And while we're sitting here talking about elementals and modding, it is important to note that the elements that you have on your weapon are determined by the load, where the mods are in your slots. So let's take pressure point here and consider it a toxin mod for an example. So I'm gonna put this one here. Yeah, right there. And we'll put the heat mod here. Now, if that was a toxin mod, and I put the heat mod here, this would now create gas damage. Gas damage is also really important and really effective. But if I wanted to change that, and I wanted to put the heat damage on its own, I could I could take this north wind here and put it in here, or I could put it over here, and this gas mod would then combine with the north wind to create the viral damage. Now this is important because while this changes this to viral and heat, if I was to take this mod and put it over here, this would then turn that into gas and cold. So the positioning of your elemental mods is very important when it comes to combining elements and making new ones. And it always goes from top, left, all the way across, and then it goes back down to the left on the bottom and does it that way as well. So that is the order in which, when you combine your elements, that you have to consider. So if I want heat on my weapon, it's always a good idea to put heat at the very end of your mod list. And then whatever other mod you want to combine elements to, you put them over here. Because otherwise, this one here, this would be viral heat, but then if I take this and I put it right there, now I've got blast and toxin. And if I take it and swap here, now I've got gas and cold. So and I'll show you exactly what that looks like when we have another elemental mod to work with. So for right now, we're just going to go ahead and play with these. And then lastly, in the modding list, we have our Parazon. None of your mods are compatible with this weapon. Visit the mods menu in the codex to see the full list. Yeah. Parazon has its own unique set of mods that are specifically designed for... there's two different functions to this, but the most important one for right now is that your Parazon is what you use to do hacking. And there are several different Parazon mods that you can put on your weapon here that will give you specific effects while hacking. One of those is that mod I was talking about earlier in the prologue, where it gives you a 30% chance to automatically hack any lock you attempt, which is really fun. The other most important thing as of right this moment that the Parazon is used for is mercy killing. Now, certain enemies in the game have really high health pools, and you'll see on their health bar as we kill them, as we diminish their health, that they will. Okay. My brain
Tenno,
just
we
turned
may
off
have
for a moment
problem.
there.
The colony is unresponsive.
Okay, yeah. So, certain heavy enemies will have this little, like, dash or line on their health bar. Basically, when you attack them and you get them down below a certain point of health behind that bar, it will open them up to be instantly killed using a finisher attack called a mercy kill. And the Parazon is what you use for those mercy kills. And there are also special Parazon mods that you can put on there that when you do that mercy kill, it will give you a special effect. Oh, and I think it's about time for me to actually leave my house. So let me fly through this mission really fast. We're going to go ahead and ignore loot. And we're just going to get to the objective.
The queens fear you, but I will
I'm going to ignore killing enemies too. We have one objective here, and that is locate the foundry segment. Yeah, killing enemies in this game is optional. Looting is optional. It's not recommended that you ignore that, but I think there's only, like, obviously exterminate missions. That's the objective, is to kill a certain amount of enemies, so you have to kill them. But something like locate artifacts, like this one, entirely optional. See, here's the segment, just sitting here.
Your ship is one step closer to completion. Now, there is one more thing you need to do.
Now we can just
eliminate all Grineer and provide justice for the colonists.
Now it's just gone into an exterminate mission. Okay.
Soon the worm will
Steel
be
Farber,
your
good mod.
spine, and I will control this Warframe of yours. I will purge your doting
Another steel
mother
fiber.
and bring you home.
Okay. I did not expect this to turn into an exterminate mission. Need to finish it quick because my kitty cat's currently sitting at the vet, and I have to go pick her up with my girlfriend. She wanted me to go with, and she was just in the room, and I just looked at the clock, and it's time to go get my kitty cat. So I need to hurry this up fast. So yeah, in exterminate missions, you don't have to kill absolutely everyone. You only have to kill the amount of guys that it tells you to, and then you're good to go. So here's another loot room. This tile set is going to be very common as well, by the way. Now that I'm in a hurry, normally I'd like to, again, run around and explore, collect loot, show you guys all the ins and outs of the different maps, but I just realized that my time is up. Yay! Okay. There we go. I have killed 30 enemies. Get rid of them because they're in my path. And now we can just leave. There's still guys alive. It doesn't matter. We're just leaving.
Another job well executed.
And a whole bunch more. Oh, there we go. Electricity. Yay. Oh, but that's for pistol. Not for melee. But we got fire and we got electricity that we can now put on a secondary weapon. That, if we combine those two, will give us radiation damage.
Your foundry segment is ready for installation, operator. Will the operator build a cephalon to replace me?
Now, the foundry is another place you're going to be spending a ton of time. This is where you go to build all of your warframes and weapons and your pets. Well, some of your pets, your sentinels, you'll build at the foundry.
Foundry restored.
Looks like I need
Here,
some
the operator will craft many powerful weapons and tools
resources.
to exact revenge for dismantling me. To expand your
So yeah,
arsenal.
here you can also look at what components you already have.
Operator, our
And
component
that list will
storage
get
has been looted
vastly
as well.
larger as time goes on.
Typical Corpus. Sure, the blueprint is free, but jack up the components. Operator, we will need resources in order to build the countermeasure blueprint.
Ortis is mad that we don't already have the resources to build it.
Tenno, I just received a very explicit message from your ship, Sevlon. If you're looking for resources, why didn't you just say so? I know just the place, but I demand an apology. My mother is no gymnast, and she would never eat those
Come on.
things.
Stop talking now,
You can go
please.
straight to... Operator, I am sorry.
Stop talking now, please.
Wow. You may want to get a new ship, Sevlon, when you can afford it. That one seems glitched. I've marked your navigation with a place I know. It's good for resources. If you can stand the cold.
Come on. Stop talking now, please. Are we good? Or does the Lotus have one last little bit she wants to add? Okay. That is where I'm going to go ahead and end part 1 of this series. I may or may not be done today, but we will continue this relatively soon. Like I said, I have to go now and pick up my kitty from the vet. So this has been fun, and I definitely want to continue. And I hope you guys found it insightful. I apologize for my incessant rambling, but I hope that it helped. So thanks for watching. I will try and see if I can get back on and stream some more today. But otherwise, I'll play it by ear, and we'll get back on and do some more of this as soon as I can. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Please remember to leave a follow if you did, or if you're over on YouTube watching this as a VOD, hit that subscribe and leave a like. It really does help. Yeah, we'll get back to it as soon as I am capable. So thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.